Good day, I am William Theo, and this is PTV News Now. The Department of Energy, or DOE, encourages the public living in the Luzon grid to conserve energy. This to minimize dispatch of the more expensive oil-based power plants, as the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, or NGCP, issued a red alert notice from 4 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. and yellow alert from 1 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. and 10 o'clock p.m. to 11 p.m. today. Typhoon Aghon has caused a substantial decrease in available power supply in the grid at a time when the hydropower plants have not yet recovered from their low water supply. Power demand will not be as high as the previous weeks, as temperatures are expected to drop this week. However, supply is still constrained. Despite this, the DOE said power supply is expected to improve in the coming days. Meanwhile, over 670 people have died in a massive landslide at a village in Papua New Guinea. The village in Enga province was almost wiped out, with scores of homes completely buried and those living inside entombed alive. Video and images from the scene show rescuers searching for survivors amid large boulders and trees on a steep hillside. UN Migration Agency official Sherhan Atroprak said they are racing against time because it had been close to 4 days since the disaster hit. Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Marape said his government has sent disaster officials to the landslide site to start relief work, recovery of bodies, and reconstruction of infrastructure. He also expressed his condolences to the families of the victims. In other news, Hamas launched rockets towards the Israeli capital of Tel Aviv in what appears to be the first such long-range attack from Gaza since early this year. Israel claims to have a shoot-down at a number of the projectiles. VOA's Arash Arabasadi has the story.
Air raid sirens wailed in the Israeli city of Tel Aviv on Sunday as a barrage of rockets soared overhead. The Israel Defense Forces said it intercepted a number of the projectiles that sent people scrambling for shelter. The attack came just hours after aid trucks passed through the Kerem Shalom border crossing, Israel's main entry point into southern Gaza, as part of a new agreement to bypass Rafah, as Israel continues pressing its military offensive. Egypt refuses to reopen the Rafah crossing until Israel returns control of the territory to the Palestinians. Israel launched a full-scale invasion of the Gaza Strip following the October 7th attacks by the Western-identified terror group Hamas. An estimated 1,200 people were killed in the Hamas attack. Since then, more than 35,000 mostly civilian Palestinians have died in the counterstrikes, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. The UN says famine looms in Gaza. Israel says it will continue pressing on to eradicate Hamas and to rescue the remaining hostages from the 250 taken by the militant group and its allies in October. Meanwhile, Israelis continue protesting the government of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, with some saying he's not doing enough to free hostages or simply calling for an end to the war. In response to the ongoing conflict, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court last week said he seeks arrest warrants for top Hamas and Israeli leaders, including Netanyahu, while acknowledging Israel's right to self-defense.
Those rights, however, do not absolve Israel of its obligations to comply with international humanitarian law. Intentionally causing death, starvation, injury, and suffering to the civilian population, including so very many women and children, are criminal means to achieve military and political goals.
Netanyahu called Khan's comments a hit job and said Khan was pouring gasoline on the fires of anti-Semitism he said were spreading around the world. This all came in the same week that leaders from Ireland, Norway, and Spain said they would recognize a Palestinian state. While a largely symbolic move, it led to a Netanyahu address in which he called it a reward for terrorism that will not bring peace and will not stop Israel from defeating Hamas. With the Israel-Hamas war now just weeks away from entering an 8th month, regional tensions continue climbing. In a video VOA cannot independently verify, the Iran-backed and Western-identified terror group Hezbollah claims to have launched a series of attacks from southern Lebanon targeting Israeli posts along the border. In a statement, the group said the attacks came in support of the steadfast Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip and their honorable resistance. Arash Arbasadi, VOA News.
This is William Theo. Stay informed, get ahead, and get the news right here.